Hey guys, J-Dub here at Dub's Customs. I want to introduce you guys to a car that I've been wanting to spend some time on for a long time. It's been sitting in the backyard just waiting for me. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking to yourself, why is that piece of junk in the shop? Well, let me tell you. So, I got word that this car was on its way to the scrapyard. It was literally this close. When I said, ho, 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 pump the brakes a little bit, I'll be right over. So I went over and it looked just like you see it here. All taken apart, really just the bones left. But the other parts were scattered around. The doors were on another vehicle. You know, they were in the vicinity. So I started looking at this car, and if you guys don't know, these old Pontiac Trans Ams, the Camaros as well, in this vintage, were really prone to rusting out. They usually always had big holes in the quarter panels, doors, front fenders, etc. Now, when I started looking at this car, and looked past all of the dirt, the grime, and the missing parts, I really started to see something that potentially could be special. I started getting a vision in my head of what this car could look like with just a little bit of care and attention, a little bit of elbow grease, and this car could be amazing. So I'm going to bring you guys in. I'm going to show you a little closer of what I've seen, and we're going to turn this car around in the next 3 or 4 days, and I'm going to show you. So first of all, when I start looking at this car, right away I started looking at the floor. And yeah, it's dirty, it's grimy, but the lack of rust holes is quite amazing. Sitting for I don't know how many years with no doors on it and T-tops, there's no holes in the floor. Every time it rains here at the shop, that becomes a lake. Still no holes. Carrying forward, you know, you start looking at it and you got to think to yourself, is it a low kilometer car? How did it get saved as good as it has? Clear coat is nearly non-existent, but when I put my hand under here, solid as can be. All the way down, you look, there is absolutely no rust. I could say the same for the paint, you know, there's only maybe 30% it left, but that is something that we'll talk about here in a moment. Coming around to the front, this car is a 1980 or 81 301 Pontiac Trans Am Turbo. Now, some brilliant engineer back in the early 80s must have thought to themselves, let's put the smallest little V8, that is a 301, and put a little turbo on the side and see if it's fast. Well, let me tell you guys, it wasn't fast. Now, as I started looking even deeper into this car and starting getting a picture built in my mind of what it could be, I started, you know, kind of looking at what's left. You know, like that paint, you know, if you clear coated that, it would look amazing. Now, everybody has different tastes, I understand that, but I think with a small little budget and just some clear coat, we can come around and wash all this up and Scotch-Brite the whole thing to make sure we got enough scratches in the surface and just give this a quick clear coat. There's no point of repainting it. It looks amazing. I could repaint this in a day. Mother Nature took like 40 years to make it look this awesome. Now, there is a small dent right there, which is minor, but again, no rust. Another little dent there. I'm not worried about those. The inner lip, mint. Now, as you come around to the back, you can see that it's kind of unfortunate that it does have a big chunk right here out of the rear spoiler. Turbo Trans Am. And it got me thinking, the name for this project. And the name is because that little nip right there, it just reminds me of an alley cat, a little scrapper with a chunk taken right out of its ear. And because of that, we're gonna call this project Project Alley Cat. I see it as a little street fighter. So my main vision for this video is going to be clean this car up, clear coat it, put the doors on, because I do have the doors here, put the fenders on, and if you guys remember that the hood on these cars absolutely looks amazing, and it just so happens to be sitting right there on the wall. Now, you can see that the bird is half washed off. It's that hood right there. You'd think that with those two hoods, I'm a huge Trans Am fan, and I am, I guess, but it's more the art. Those are sitting on the wall because I love the birds and the look of them. Not necessarily because I love Pontiac Trans Ams, but I kind of love this one. So first things first, we really got to get the T-tops off. I don't think when I clear coat it, I'm going to worry too much about the seals and all that. Again, we just want to keep this on the cheap. I really see myself ripping around in this car, potentially putting maybe like a 5.3 LS with a 4-speed automatic transmission, or even maybe a standard, probably auto. I would love standard, but it costs too much money, but it's tempting. So if we put a 5.3 LS in this, and of course, because it's a Trans Am turbo, we've got to keep a turbo on there. But that would make it pretty fast. So I think that is going to be step 2. Step 1 is going to be just get the look going. Get me excited about this build. And then we'll think about the 5.3 or the 6.0 in there and making it go. Step 1, let's get in the trunk, clean all underneath all this chrome, probably just take it off because I imagine that it's probably gunked up, and who knows, this is where we might see some rust, but so far, you know, you can't really count that as rust. That's surface rust. Yes, it is rusted, but we'll clear right over that. It'll look just phenomenal. And maybe we might need some new tires. I believe those are stock. I do have some of the interior as well. I've been digging through the brush and the trees and stuff and finding anything that was taken off of this car. I really feel like what somebody did is seen absolutely no value in this beautiful Trans Am, and they took the doors off and the fenders off and they put them on another older, rustier Trans Am. Well, they're going back on because I see this car as an absolute gem. So let's just get her cleaned up, get the clear on it, and I'm gonna show you guys what this could be. You have to look at things for what they could be sometimes, not for what they are now. You know, 80% of you would just walk past this poor old car. Give me 2 days. I'll change your mind. Now that I've got all the fairings and everything stripped off the car, I can see more of the bones, and everything is still looking very positive. There is a little bit of bubble in there, but I'm not too worried about it. I'll Scotch-Brite with soap and water this whole area, give it a nice bite for that paint to stick to. Everything is looking really good. Even behind here, I pulled this little mud flap off, and everything is super solid. I have found a little bit of rust, and let me show you that. It's just very minor, but it's there. Right down here on the floor, I have found right there, for some reason, it rusted out, and it's got a couple of little holes. So a 2-inch patch there, and I have seen a rust hole right there. Very minor. This probably acted like a drain hole and saved the rest of this area, but everything is looking wonderful. Same on this side here. Little bit of bubbling down at the bottom. All looks very solid. But hey, have you guys ever seen mufflers or resignators or whatever that look like this? My first time seeing it, they're kind of like pressed in here, here, here. I'm not sure what that's exactly for. If you guys know, leave a comment down below. Next step, to get into this trunk. I kind of want them debating. I really shouldn't touch it, but I feel like I could just spend 15 minutes on this, maybe pop the light out and straighten it out a little bit. Again, I'm not that concerned about it, but you know, why not if you can? At least make the body look as straight as possible. I'm on the fence about it. We'll see. I guess it's gonna all dictate how easy it is to get into this trunk. That's next on the list. I don't have the key. I have seen that somebody, and it could be for the same reason that I'm doing this today, they've chopped all of this out of the car. You can see that it's all just been hacked out. Now, was that to get back to that key? Like usually there's some kind of slot back there you can put a flat screwdriver into to pop it. I'm hoping that's the case because I'm heading in there next. Oh boy, that's tight. Ooh, I hope I can get out of here. Okay. So now that I'm in here, I'm not seeing exactly what I thought I would. Usually there's like a little slot where you can put a flat screwdriver and just turn it and pop it. I really don't know exactly what I'm doing here right now, but all I can say is this. If I take out every single bolt here, sooner or later, the trunk's gonna pop open. I hope you guys agree with my theory, and that's what we're gonna do. Oh, once I get the right size. Ooh, maybe I got it here. Sweet. Now, I'm not sure why I fell in love with cars like I did, but I guess some people like skydiving and the thrill of risking their life, and I love taking old junk cars and giving them new life. And that's what we're doing here with this. Right now I've got like, I'd say scrap value of this car is maybe 250 bucks. And I just went and bought some clear coat, cost me another 250. So I'm about $500 deep into this build right now. And I'm just trying to show you guys that you don't have to spend a lot of money to have a cool car. You gotta look past, you know, the junk and the debris and see what the car has for bones and structure left, and find one that has some character, that you have a vision for, and just put your time into it. Time is free. Okay, that's got to be coming out. I don't know how many nuts. Oh, what's this? Okay, maybe we don't have to take out much, because I do see what I feel like is what I've got to manipulate to get the trunk to open. Let's just finish taking that off. So right here, I can see that is the keys, or the tumbler, I guess, right there. Maybe we can push on this over here. Maybe it'll pop open. I doubt it, but nope, not that. Can we give this a turn? It wants to kind of turn. Nope. Okay, so we might just have to undo these. I didn't want to, but man, I'm sure there's a trick to this. I just don't know it. Maybe it's this here. Oh, what was that? Yes! I'm sure that wasn't good for me. Let's get out of this hole and see what we've got. Oh boy, I think I'm stuck. Just give me a minute. Oh, give me my shirt back. Ah, thank you. Whew. All right. Ooh, treasure. This looks like what's potentially the original steering wheel. Too bad it didn't have the center section. Maybe we'll find it. There is a lot of parts back here, it looks like. This is an old distributor cap for a 4-cylinder. Makes no sense. Ooh, crusty. Gross. Ugh. Straight to the garbage. So, spark plug wires, distributor, steering wheel, a few broken parts. But the main reason that we're in here is because we want to get at those dents if we can. So I'm going to clean some of this stuff out of the way. We're going to dive in there and we're just going to spend a few minutes. If they don't want to push out, we're just going to leave them be. You can see that right there is the marker light, and that dent would be right behind the marker light. So let's pop that out of there and see if we can't just clean that up a bit. All right, we're ready to start tackling this dent. First off, I feel like the worst part of the dent is right along here because this is literally like folded over. So I'm gonna try to grab that and push it more in line with this piece, more where it should be. Then I will pull this out and start straightening it out a little bit. We're not gonna spend too much time on it. I'm not looking to make it perfect, just better. Start cleaning this body up. I'm really after two things here. One, the body's got to be super clean. And number two, I've got to have a nice surface for the clear coat to lay on and to stick. So I need to have it scuffed up enough that it's going to have some bite when the paint lays on it. Now I've got all three colors of Scotch-Brite, and what my plan is here is to soak these in water, start with white, which is the finest color, and start prepping the surface. I do not want to see scratch marks, and I don't want to see too much change on this sweet patina. So we're gonna start with white, but I really want to do it with red. Red's gonna give it more bite for the clear coat, and it's gonna last longer. So let's just read the surface. We'll do a little test spot. We'll get our first glimpse on what the final kind of color is gonna be, and we'll go from there. Some guys use Comet with Scotch-Brite pad, and I do lots too. I just don't have any here right now. So again, I'm just looking for any change. I want to keep a lot of that white color. And I've kind of been worried that it was gonna just start flaking off, but it looks like it's on there pretty good. And you guys can see right away that, you know, if we didn't have all these bubbles with soap, the color changes quite a bit. You can see it pops a lot more. And that's what I want it to look like all the time. It'll take a little bit. I'm thinking I'm gonna try the gray, get a little bit more aggressive, because so far it's looking good. And hopefully we're gonna be able to bump up to the red. For a better bite. I'm gonna have to do this probably at least 2 times, because we're gonna have to take it outside, wash it down with the hose, bring it back. Maybe not Scotch-Brite it again, but at least use a rag with soap and water. Then we'll wash it down one more time. Then we'll finally be ready to spray the clear. But if we don't do this step, it's never gonna look as good as it could have. Just washed the Trans Am, and there's our first look at what it could look like all glossed out. You can definitely see the potential and kind of probably more understand what I'm after with this build. This is gonna be sick. While I'm waiting for the car to dry, I'm gonna show you guys the front fenders and the doors. Similar patina. Gonna finish off the look for sure. See right out here, we've got the front fenders with the sweet patina on it, nice and solid, just like the rest of the car. The door, a little bit of patina showing through there. The other front fender, much of the same. The last door over here, now I don't know what was going on, but it looks like the car was parked in the same spot day in and day out, because if I can get down at the right angle, you can kind of see those dents. Just small little door dents, like every day it was parked in an inch different of a spot. There they are. And he never moved whatever was hitting the door. So the whole door's got light little dings in it. But you know what? I'm not trying to hide its scars. I just want the car to wear its scars with pride. That's why we're just gonna clear coat it, because really guys, who looks that good naked at that age? So we're just gonna let it sport it just the way it is and be proud. Can't wait till it's tearing up the streets again. But there you go. Now we're still a ways away from being ready to throw down some clear coat, probably at least one more round of cleaning, making sure that the surface is free of any wax, dust, dirt, whatever. I want it to be as clean as possible. As you guys can kind of see, I'm going to be painting it right here in the shop, so I can't expect a perfect paint job, but that's okay. The car is not perfect. It's going to be perfectly imperfect. Now that the car is pretty clean and almost ready to be taped off and finally wiped down and clear coated, I'm starting to think that, you know what, to do this project right, we better pull this old engine out. So let's dive in here and have a little better of a look. Like I said earlier in the video, this is a 301 turbo car. Oh, awesome. Looks like somebody did a engine bay wiring harness delete. Great. The last wiring guy was, I would say, pretty skilled and had lots of pride. Oh, awesome. But anyway, we're gonna pull this engine out here now, because I figured, you know what, we might as well clear coat down in here too. Let's leave the frame bare. I really don't want to remove any steel off this car. I don't want to do any rust repair, like I said. I just want to just leave it alone. It's hard for me to swallow and hard for me to say, but at this point, this car's got so much awesomeness and attitude that I feel like just being left alone, you know, it's matured with age and looks amazing. Before I tell you guys I took the wing off, I figured I might as well do a solid job. It's crazy what the sun will do over, you know, I'm not sure exactly how many years old this car is, but a lot. Pretty cool though. It's gonna look sweet when I put that back on and everything's all glossy. Like, look at the shine on it already. It'll be way deeper once I actually clear coat it. I'm just gonna give it maybe 2 or 3 coats of clear. It's pretty cold outside, and well, I'm painting in a shop, so I'm sure it's gonna be a little bit slower for the clear to kick off. I tried to get the lowest temperature hardener that I could to help with my situation, but I might end up with a few runs. We're gonna try to put some heaters on it beforehand, but you know, when I'm painting in here, I probably should have the door open. So that's what we're gonna do. Unfortunately, we're just gonna have to put on thin coats and hope we don't get a bunch of runs. Let's pull that engine. So right off the bat, we have no transmission, which is gonna make this a lot easier. Really, all I've gotta do is get in here, probably bust every one of those exhaust manifold bolts off, get them out of the way, and then undo the bolts for the engine mounts. And we should be able to just pull this sucker right out with no problem. It's only me here today, so no problems are good. After hours of cleaning and sanding and taping, we're finally ready to start laying down some clear coat. I got my fenders and hood in the back, my bigger pieces, over to the front of the car, all the smaller stuff. My plan is to just kind of do a dust coat over everything, get it tacky so it's got some grip. I'm really fighting the cold today, so I'm hoping that's gonna go well. I put a lot of effort into this. I really want this car to look great. There's nothing left to do but to start spraying, so let's do it. I've let the paint dry overnight. Let's go in and have our first look at our parts. Definitely a lot shinier. Look at that. Just like I imagined. Sweet. I'm not seeing any runs. It looks like the paint job turned out pretty darn good. I had heaters going in here all night last night trying to kick this paint off as fast as I could. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that I was gonna give it just a dust coat for the first coat of clear. And that's really just to get a texture on the surface, like little droplets of paint. Once they dry, it's like sandpaper. Then when you spray your next, 1 or 2 or 3 wet coats, it really sticks and doesn't run. That's exactly what we did, and I don't see any runs. There's the door looking all sweet. Again, all those little dents along the bottom. We'll never know what caused that. This door looking sweet. All our trim parts, rear spoiler, everything got painted at the same time. Today is one of those days that, you just know things are gonna happen. It's assembly day. After putting in all the hard work, prepping, it's all paying off. Today we get to unwrap this rig and see what it's really gonna look like all dressed out. Look at that patina. This is one of my favorite recorders right here. Just love it. You can see the bird come back out again. Super sick. I just love this car, you know. This is like, I could see the type of person that would really love this car. Would be that guy with a mullet and a leather jacket. Hop in this bad bird and rip it up. And I'm just showing you, with a couple of days of hard work, you could end up with something in your life that's pretty awesome for not much money. You just got to find the right vehicle that talks to you. It's much easier to pull this type of patina job off when you don't have a bunch of rust holes in the body. So you want to find something that's pretty solid. So really all you have to do is scuff it up, give it some clear, and just maintain that natural look. Man, I can't wait till people see this on the street. All right, let's get all of this masking off. Start putting it back together. You know, when you're getting down to this stage, you're getting close. Even though we still have to pick an engine for this vehicle, I'm getting really excited. The look is there. The fenders turned out absolutely phenomenal, don't you think? It's all about the prep when you're doing something like this too, you know. There was a few times when I thought to myself, you know, it's getting pretty clean, it's getting pretty good. And I thought, you know what? One more time, we'll clean her one more time. And it pays off after the paint job has been done. And yeah, there's the odd speck in it that I could sand out later on, but I was painting in a dirty shop, so I'm pretty happy. Kind of just adds to the look anyway. My bigger worry was the runs. I really didn't want to end up with a bunch of runs. I really thought that it might be trouble being so cold outside. But we made her happen. Next, we're going to get the doors on, all the little fairing pieces, back spoiler, and we'll move forward to the front fenders. You've got to set the doors first before you do the fenders, because the bolts for the doors are in behind the back of the fender, so it's kind of like you got to do one piece before the other. But just stand back and have a look at that. You got to get a little bit of this off, but that's okay. For some reason it's stuck there real good. I don't know what my final goal is for this car, but step one is just to bring it around. Kind of get it back to where it's a good, solid project. I really am starting to dig it though. I really could see myself keeping this one in the fleet, maybe turning it into a burnout rig or just enjoying it, just cruising. I look forward to the reaction. Some people really don't like patina, but it doesn't get any more real than this car's patina, so we'll see what people say. You know, some of the purists would have been like, oh man, you should have painted it back to black, because it would have been black with the gold trim. You know, which was beautiful. But this car was painted by Mother Nature. Dubs Kustoms just preserved it. And I think Mother Nature is an absolutely amazing artist, and I'd represent her on my car any day. I want to keep everything as original as possible on this car, besides maybe a set of nice rims and tires or something. We'll see. I've been thinking about just dressing up the stock ones, but I really do like a set of rims and tires. I would love to get a set of louvers for the back window, so if anybody's got a set, hit me up. That would be amazing. Well, it's time. Let's start putting some parts on. We'll start with the small ones, work our way to the bigger ones, and hopefully by the end of the day we'll have this car, well, looking like a complete car again. So we can finally see it in its full glory for the first time in, well, probably ever. Because it's taken a long time to create this paint job. So last time it was together, it probably didn't look quite like this. So there you go. First time ever. Sweet. First glance at all the masking taken off the car. Well, I guess I forgot that there. But we're gonna have to put a new front windshield in this thing. That'll come down the road here. Looking forward to being able to clean up the T-tops, clip them back on, and get the final look going of this car. That's really gonna light a fire under me to really find an engine and transmission. Because this car needs to be seen. I'm loving it. Just loving it. I just can't believe that, you know, like, oof, the sun just destroys stuff. So you just know that if this car was kept in a garage, it'd still be mint. But I think it's better than mint.
I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride. Sword and pistol by my side. Many young maids lost their baubles to my trade. Many soldiers shed his lifeblood on my blade. The bastards hung me in the spring of 25, but I'm still alive. I was a sailor, I was born upon the tide. With the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner round the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft and furled the mainsail in the blow. And when the odds broke on the sea, that I got killed, but I'm living still.
Got most of the bits and pieces back on. Doors are on. I'm not spending a huge amount of time getting the door gaps perfect, because I know I'm gonna have to go in there, possibly do door pins on one door, and I got some work to do. I just want to finish off the weekend with the look. Sorry about the mess in here, guys. I've been thrashing this weekend, but I think it's all gonna be worth it. Car's looking pretty amazing. Look at that door on there. That's so sexy to me. Call me weird, guys, but I absolutely love it. See it for what it could be, not for what it is. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I think it's deserving to keep going on it. This fender, I just love the way the finish looks. Goes right down to bare steel, rust, black paint, you know, gray paint. Well, I guess probably gray and then black. Just about time for the crowning jewel. I hope I don't scratch anything. The time is finally here, what we've worked for all weekend. All the parts are put on the car except for one. It's time to put that crown on the king. Now, all I have to do is get the hood from there to there. And I know it doesn't seem like it's much of a task, but let me tell you, I've been lifting heavy things all weekend. My back is telling me, why don't you just wait until tomorrow when the guys are here? My mind is telling me, well, I'll die. I need to see it now. I've worked all weekend for this moment. So I just can't wait. So the plan is I'm going to ease my way underneath that hood, lift it up over my head, walk around to the front. I'm going to have this blanket right here placed across this section, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to bend over far enough to set the back side of the hood on the window glass, because it needs to be replaced anyway, but I don't think it's going to cause any damage. I just really don't want to get any scratches in here. So I figured if I'm going to crash and burn, you guys might as well watch me. So here goes. All weekend I've been thinking about this once I get down to the last part. Now there's still some tweaking and stuff I need to do, and I understand that. And to get this type of work done in one weekend, you know, for one guy, it's pretty good. Now I've been thinking about this a lot. I really don't want to scratch this paint job. I want to see the car finished with the hood on. The hood is the main part of this car. I know, but I'm gonna do it. I'm just debating, should I hold it, should I lift it like this and hold it? I'm just worried that I'm gonna go halfway over, my back's gonna give out on me. So I feel like it's gonna be easier to get it up, get it balanced, walk to the front of the car, and gently ease it into place. Easier said than done. Well, I know. You guys are probably laughing at me right now, telling me that I should just wait. Oh, got it. Whoa, baby, easy. Almost lost it. Okay, it's up. It's up. Ooh. Goes nothing. Feel. Easy. Easy. Oh man, that's a far reach. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Plan B maybe. Come over from the side. Come on. No scratches. No scratches. Ease it over there on the blanket. Oh, something just got stuck. Oh. I'm just proving to you guys that it's not possible to do this stuff on your own, but it's a lot of hard work. Okay. I don't know. I feel like I could probably set it down straight over here for a second. Just ease this. The blanket caught up on that far corner. Oh. Oh, that looks so good. I've got to get the blanket out of there. But wow. Wow. It's exactly like I imagined. Just think, it was already marked to be scrapped. Somebody already looked at this car as scrap value. And over one weekend, I've just turned it right around. Now I feel like, you know, this is something that I could potentially see myself finishing off, putting a nice motor with a turbo, of course. You know, but I also think that in a weekend, I took this car that was worth not a whole bunch, and I turned it into something that potentially could be worth as a good solid project, you know, upwards of maybe 5 figures to the right guy. You know, so really, this masterpiece is a small fortune. I doubt it, but maybe. To me, it's priceless. Now, some cars are just blessed. And this, I think, is one of them, as the steel was good. Because I don't know if you guys agree with me, but the majority of the cars that you see that are this body style, the Camaros, the Firebirds, they are usually knocking on the door of the scrapyard. But let me bring you around. I'm going to finish getting the blanket off. But this car is a stunner. Look at this, guys. Tell me that is not incredible. I've admired this hood on the wall for a lot of years. Now to see it back on the car, I'm pretty speechless. It turned out just as good as I imagined it. Hopefully now you guys can see that, you know, you really got to look past all the dirt and the grime and get right in there and have a good look at what you got. Now, who wouldn't want this car in their life? New tires and rims, update the engine. I think I've got myself here one of the sweetest Trans Ams around. What do you guys think? This side's just got such a killer patina. Like, how could you paint over that? I think I've got an idea for this back here. You know, now that I see it on the car, I kind of wish it wasn't there, but that's part of its history. So I think in a later video, I'll show you what I'm thinking for this spot right here. I'm gonna make something. In one weekend, I turned this car around from being tagged to go to the scrapyard to something absolutely anybody would love to drive. The Phoenix has definitely started to rise up from the ashes. This car has been kissed by Mother Nature. She created a masterpiece. Now there's lots of masterpieces out there. It's just up to us to go out and look for them. Look behind your barns, in your ditches, in your garages, past the trees, the brush, and the dirt. And look into the bones of these old cars. You never know, some of them are still really solid. Look at the character, the patina, you know, and grab yourself something. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and you don't have to put in a lot of time. I grinded on this thing for 3 days, and this is what I got. Placing that hood on, that final piece, made it all worth it. My back, on the other hand, told me to sit down yesterday. We're still not talking. So, I think that's going to be it for this video. Like always, like and subscribe. Be safe out there. Peace. Oh, I need a bath.